Let's transition to an AFC East battle as the New England Patriots beat the New York Jets 10-3 Sunday afternoon in Foxborough. For the Jets, Zach Wilson had a horrible performance. He went 9 of 22. He threw for 77 passing yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. For the Patriots, Mac Jones went 23 of 27. He threw for 246 passing yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. So, as I look at this game, first and foremost, this game was dominated by both the Patriots defense and the Jets defense. You look at the numbers in this matchup, the Jets didn't have over 120 yards of total offense. The Patriots, they didn't have over 100 yards rushing. This game was dominated from start to finish by two defenses in the New England Patriots and the New York Jets. Watching this game, I got bored because it's 2022. I'm used to watching Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes score points. I'm used to watching Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert score points. I'm used to watching Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson score points. Before this year, I was used to seeing Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady score points. It was a snooze fest in Foxborough between the Jets and the Patriots. Now, if you're old school and you love your football back in the 60s and the 70s, you prefer these type of games. But in this new era of football, I love points being scored and quarterbacks putting on great performances. And you didn't have that in this game, especially for the New York Jets. And that's what I want to talk about. And it's Zach Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, Zach Wilson has been pathetic as a New York Jets quarterback this year. For the season, you look at what Zach Wilson has done. He has 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 1,279 passing yards. He's completing 56% of his passes. He has been awful for the New York Jets. You look at his ranks this season, his completion percentage is 56%. That's ranked last in the NFL. He has 183 passing yards per game. That's ranked 31st in the NFL. His touchdown to interception ratio is 4-5. That's ranked dead last in the NFL. His passer rating is 72.6. That's ranked 33rd in the NFL. Folks, it's only 32 teams in the NFL, and Zach Wilson is ranked dead last in 2 out of 4 major categories. The other 2 major categories, completion percentage and passing yards per game, he's ranked either 31st or dead last. And this man has the nerve, the audacity. When the reporter asked him, does he believe that the offense let down the defense, Zach Wilson's response was no. Are you kidding me? You were pathetic against the New England Patriots, Zach. I know Zach Wilson is a kid. I know that Zach Wilson is only in his sophomore season in the NFL. but he has been god awful so far this season for the New York Jets. I look at this Jets team and what they have. I love the Jets defense. I think the Jets have one of the best defenses in the NFL. But the weakness of this Jets team is their quarterback. And now, because Zach Wilson struggles to take accountability, now Robert Saleh, the head coach of the Jets, he has to go to the podium and answer questions about his sophomore quarterback's performances and his comments in post-game press conferences. Robert Saleh now has to be accountable for Zach Wilson's inability to be accountable. Boys deflect. Grown men show accountability when they come up short. The New York Jets have a kid at quarterback. He's not a man anymore. And I'm not trying to disrespect Zach Wilson's character or him as a man, because I don't know that man personally. But I believe as a leader of a football team, Zach Wilson has come up short for the New York Jets. There are other young quarterbacks who are open to criticism and can be accountable when their football team comes up short. One thing about Mac Jones, I give him credit for. Mac Jones always takes responsibility when his team loses football games. We've seen Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. We've seen these other young quarterbacks in the NFL go to the podium and take responsibility for when their football team loses games. You're the quarterback. You're going to get all the credit when your team wins games. But you have to also take the blame when your team loses football games. And that's something that Zach Wilson has struggled with. It's something that he struggled with. And he's honestly probably lost that Jets locker room. He lost them. Because if I'm that defense, I am looking at Zach Wilson this week with a side eye. Who the hell do you think you are going to that press conference not taking accountability? The Jets offense had 2 yards in the second half. 2 yards. And you're going to go to the press conference and say you didn't let your defense down? What the hell are you talking about, Zach? What are you talking about? You've been pathetic. I'm literally watching the press conference in disbelief. I'm like, who the hell does this guy think he is? Unbelievable. So I think the New York Jets organization and Robert Saleh need to really evaluate the quarterback position. And if I am Robert Saleh, I am seriously considering benching Zach Wilson for Mike White or Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco was better than Zach Wilson has been. He was better when he was playing. The Jets were losing a few games with Flacco, but they won a few. They beat the Browns. They lost to the Bengals, but they were performing well with Joe Flacco at quarterback. But they lost this game because of Zach Wilson. And his inability to take accountability is going to be an issue moving forward. Robert Saleh has to pull Zach Wilson in his office. And if I'm Robert Saleh, I would consider benching Zach Wilson. They were talking on First Take this morning, and Keyshawn Johnson was saying that he wouldn't bench Zach Wilson because he doesn't want to lose Zach Wilson. You haven't had Zach Wilson. What are you losing? I love Keyshawn. Keyshawn does a tremendous job on ESPN, and he's forgotten more football than I know. Had a tremendous career in the NFL. Shout out to Keyshawn. But what are you losing if you bench Zach Wilson? If anything, you're gaining the respect of your locker room because you're sending a message to your young quarterback that deflecting and not taking accountability is something that we will not tolerate, especially in this type of game. 3 points the entire game. The offense didn't even have 105 yards of offense. 2 yards in the second half. He should be ashamed to show his face in the city of New York this week. And Zach Wilson's paycheck for week 11 should be revoked. It should be revoked. He should not have received a paycheck for that week 11 performance. It was that bad.